If you're looking to day trade small cap stocks, you've probably come across Ross Cameron in his Warrior Trading course. Ross is one of the biggest YouTubers in the small cap sector, and as I was learning to day trade small cap stocks at the time, it felt very natural that I would gravitate towards him due to his massive social presence. In addition to that, Ross is also very approachable in nature, and he is excellent at communicating ideas. All of this gave me conviction to go in and buy his Warrior Pro program. So how did I do? After completing a majority of the course and applying Ross's strategies with real money for a year, I lost $4,000. In this video, I want to walk you through my experience with the course, what it did well, and where it fell short. Now, keep in mind that this review is based off my personal experience and research, and I'm not affiliated or sponsored by anyone to make this video. To get started, let's go ahead and look at how the Warrior Trading course is structured. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and break down what is actually in the program. So first we have the Warrior Starter, which is the very bare bones basic version of the program. It talks about things from technical analysis to fundamental analysis, as far as stock selection and setting up an account. So very basic things, but it does cover them extensively, right? You'll get about 18 hours of material from this. And while it is very basic, again, you get very, very thorough coverage of those basics. So now we're gonna move on to the Warrior Pro package, and this is what I bought. Now, to start, you get everything from the starter in it, and in addition to that, you get a vast amount of content. We're talking about things from strategies and scaling, to charts and candlestick patterns, to risk management, psychology, as well as access to a wide array of courses from successful graduates of the course. Now, in addition to the two main packages, there are 3 add-ons you can buy. The first one is the live stream and chat, which is just simply letting you talk in the chat room as well as watch Ross trade with low latency. The second one is the Day Trade Dash, which is a custom-built scanning platform by Warrior Trading. It is very fine-tuned, I will say, to the actual Warrior Trading style, their strategies, and it is not very customizable, so be warned about that. And the third one is the Trading Simulator, and this is just letting you simulate in a traded environment. Now, let me go ahead and give my actual experience with the Warrior Trading program. To start, as I said in the last chapter, the course is very long and very thorough, and as such, it took me several months to get through the actual bulk of the course, going hundreds of hours, usually 1 or 2 hours a day. And as such, it took me quite a while. Now, Ross makes one thing very clear throughout all the lessons, and that is that if you're not profitable, you should not trade with real money. I think this makes a lot of sense, stops unnecessary losses, and as such, I went ahead and bought his simulator, and I was trading in that for a month, tracking my metrics. However, there were 2 main issues I had with the simulator, and this isn't a critique of Ross specifically, this is more of a simulator critique in general, and that is that because I was not trading with real money, I was taking larger size than I normally would have. And in addition to that, I was also holding my losses longer as well. And I think because I didn't have that tie of real money on the line, that was really making me disengage from the actual process, the actual learning process of the simulator. Like, that's the whole point of the simulator. And the other big issue I had was more mechanical, and this is something that a lot of simulators have too, is that they don't accurately reflect the order execution from the market, right? Whenever you try to fill an order, a lot of times there's slippage or delay, or your order doesn't fill right away. And a lot of these things don't happen with the simulator. And as a result, this also creates a bit of disengagement, detachment from the actual real process of the market. Because of these 2 things, I decided it was best to pivot away from the simulator and go to real cash with smaller size. So for the next 12 months, I continued trading in a live account, trading small size, recording my metrics, and trying to apply Ross's strategies. And by the end of that 12 months, I ended up losing the $4,000 that I talked about before finally deciding this isn't working, I need to cut it. Now, the critical question is this an issue with me, or is this an issue with the actual course itself in a broad spectrum? I took 12 months to try and learn the materials and convert it, but ultimately I was not able to become profitable with the course. Now, the FTC actually did an investigation looking into this exact issue, and their findings were significant. In 2022, Warrior Trading entered into a settlement with the Federal Trade Commission for $3 million. Now, as this was a settlement, Warrior Trading is neither admitting nor denying the allegations of the FTC, rather they are simply saying that they do not wish to address them or confront them in court directly. Now, what did the FTC actually allege in their filing? The FTC stated, quote, "While the simulator data might not entirely represent customers' actual performance in the market, it indicates that customers do not make money day trading." They continued, "Simulator data from November 2020 through March 2021 show that 74% of accounts lose money and only 10% earned more than $90. In other words, most people that traded in the simulator lost money. And of the 10% that made $90 or more, that's relatively marginal considering that you've been trading for 4 months. But simulator data alone isn't conclusive. The FTC also gathered real money data from actual brokers. Now, Warrior Trading doesn't directly track the performance of its students with real money. They leave this to the individual traders and their brokers. However, Warrior Trader did used to have a broker rebate program where they partnered with multiple brokers like Lightspeed or TradeStation, and they would offer discounted commission rates to their students. Because of this partnership, the FTC was able to obtain actual broker data from these partner brokers. The FTC said, quote, "An analysis of trading records of Warrior Trading customers identified by these broker-dealers for certain trades between May 2018 and May 2021 shows that the vast majority of customers made no money or lost money." They continued, "Few customers who purchase Warrior Trading's day trading programs are likely to profit by deploying Warrior Trading's day trading strategies." The Warrior Trading course teaches many core concepts that I found value from, and even now, 3 years later to this very day, I still use some of those concepts. With that said, a lot of the information from the course can be learned online and for free, so that does detract from the overall assessment. In total, there are 3 main things that I consider. The first one is, like I said, most of this information can be learned online for free. The second one is that most people did lose money from taking the course, myself included. And the third one is that the course is rather expensive. Because of all these 3 things, I personally, if I had the choice, would not rebuy this course. Now, while I personally wouldn't consider rebuying the course, I do think there is one case for it. If someone wanted to buy this course and they had a large disposable income, not necessarily going into this trying to become profitable, but rather just trying to learn the fundamentals of the stock market, of small caps specifically, and really trying to cut through the noise that a lot of the trading spaces can have, because while a lot of the information can be found for free online, there is a lot of searching and research that has to go into it, really trying to distinguish what is good information versus bad. So being able to cut through this is a real benefit of the course. And if money isn't an issue, then I can consider this one possible reason to actually buy the course. And that pretty much wraps up my review of the Warrior Trading course. I hope you found my experience and the information I looked into helpful. Again, keep in mind, this was all derived from my own research and my own opinions of the course. Make sure you do your own research and make your own investment decisions. This is not financial advice. So with that said, I'm going to end it here. If you liked everything, please do leave a like. It helps me out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.